the latest UAV of the Ukrainian armed forces, capable of remaining invisible to Russian radars. Due to its external resemblance, it has been nicknamed the Ukrainian Lancet, and it is already showing results on the front line. A killer of Russian air defense, capable of flying tens of kilometers behind enemy lines in search of a target.
These UAVs can work well against air defense and against ground targets.
The latest development by Ukrainian engineers is the Ram.X kamikaze drone. Equipped with advanced self-guidance technologies, it repeatedly destroys expensive Russian equipment. The principle of its operation is kept secret, but some information still appears in open sources. So what is known about the Ukrainian killer drone Ram-X? Today in Arsenal. Evidently, the Ram-X is a continuation of the Ukrainian designer's line and a complete modernization of the renowned Ram-2 drone. Here, the shape of the drone, its characteristics, and potential targets have been completely changed.
Very important functions include the ability to destroy both ground and aerial targets. The average speed of this drone is 180 kilometers per hour. This allows us, for example, to destroy any aerial target moving at a speed of up to 140 kilometers per hour. And this means it can target advanced enemy UAVs, such as the Orlan, Zala, and it can also destroy the Lancet.
The new drone was indeed first mentioned on the channel of the operational strategic group Kortitsia. It is evident that their fighters were among the first to receive this bird for testing in combat conditions. The result was this video. The Tunguska air defense field complex was destroyed by a precise Ram-X strike.
These unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, can work well against air defense systems and ground equipment due to the explosive mechanism inside, such as the one designed for maximum impact. The detonation can occur either by direct contact with the target, for instance, or by the operator pressing a button.
Another still rare and unique video of the use of a highly advanced Ukrainian drone shows captivating footage of a strike on the Russian mobile electronic warfare system, Borisoglebsk 2. It's not the Ram-X kamikaze drone that jams, nor the unmanned aerial vehicle that was recording everything on video.
We are talking about the capabilities of autonomous mode, as well as the creation of new communication protocols that allow, for example, resilience against electronic warfare systems. We were able to create such data transmission systems that allow us to bypass enemy electronic warfare and remain undetectable, even through electronic warfare means.
The guidance system is also located in this same unit. The specific type used by our engineers is not disclosed. However, there is information regarding the direct operating principle, which allows for the destruction of equipment essentially designed to combat aerial targets. The approximate flight range of the Ram-X is also known.
If we are talking about the range of over 100 kilometers, because again, this type of drone can also use additional relays. When basically a UAV is in the air, the relay controls, for example, several such strike UAVs.
Regarding the potential targets of the Ram-X, it is guaranteed that the drone can attack us any equipment and fortified area. However, considering its ability to bypass radars and signal jamming systems, Ram-X operators typically choose the most expensive target on the battlefield.
They can completely and definitely strike any air defense, like Buk, Poland, or Panzer systems. I think a Tunguska was destroyed or something like that.
However, little is known about the destructive power of this drone so far. Judging by the video, the amount of explosives is sufficient to hit armored vehicles. Therefore, it is more than enough to destroy cars, light armored vehicles, and even fortified enemy positions. At the same time, experts believe that the type of explosive device can be replaced. It all depends on the task at hand.
A small amount of shrapnel can significantly damage, for example, a radar antenna, and this radar will be completely out of operational use. In other words, we are saying that it will not perform its functions.
On the internet, the domestic drone has already been hastily dubbed the Ukrainian Lancet. There is indeed a visual similarity, X-shaped wings, and likely the same catapult launch system. However, such a comparison is incorrect, experts assert, because the Lancet is simply a copy. The Russians purchased Israeli technology and are working strictly according to it. The Ukrainian Ram X, on the other hand, is an entirely domestic creation.
You can't say, for example, that it's an analog of the Lancet or the Shahed because Russia copies a large number of UAVs. They're either copied or a license is acquired, and they attempt to produce it independently. Ukraine is following its own path, developing its own drone systems that allow for more effective operation without being tied. So, to speak to the engineering limitations that were embedded in the same Shahed or Lancet.
Experts also believe that Ram X is an excellent response to critics who have been demanding for over a year that our designers create a Ukrainian Shahed. The principle of buying what is available on the global market, of course, also has the right to exist. However, firstly, it involves colossal sums, and secondly, the weapon will certainly not be better than the enemy's.
This is also incorrect. Why? Because we need to create our own systems that are more resistant to interference from electronic warfare and more resilient against air defense. We see that Shaheds are in principle destroyed in 95% of cases if they enter the range of our air defense. Therefore, when talking about creating systems, they need to be independent, meaning we should develop our own systems and not emulate Russia, which copies everything.
Experts believe that Ram X has a great future. Even though its examples of use are still few, they have been quite successful, and domestic production practically guarantees uninterrupted supplies to the front and the ability to finally provide Ukrainian units with what they need in the required quantities. That's all for now. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss new episodes of Arsenal.